Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Sagar and I have used this iPhone 16e as my main phone for the last 4 days and I think I should give you guys my initial impressions about it. Now since this is an initial impressions video after using this phone for a short while, I would try and keep the video short as well. Out of the 4 days, I was out with this phone for an entire day for taking pictures in a lot of different places and lighting conditions. So I also got to know a lot about the battery backup, which I will share with you in this video along with a few image and video samples. First off, the A18 chip on this phone is no joke. While performing everyday tasks, or any task for that matter, this phone is extremely responsive. Apps open instantly, scrolling is smooth, and multitasking is a breeze. And no matter how many apps you have open, this phone does really well to keep all of them in memory. I had been using the iPhone 14 for the last few days, so switching to this iPhone 16e, I could instantly feel the difference in speed. I have been really impressed with the performance. Although this one gets a bint chip with one less GPU core, you don't really feel that you are missing out on some of the performance. Sure, if you run benchmarks or play some high-demanding graphics-intensive games, you might see some limitations of this A18 chip. But for any tasks other than that, performance is the last thing that you will have to worry about. I have actually compared this phone with the iPhone 16 in my previous video, and I will leave a link to that video in the description section if you guys want to check it out. The Super Retina XDR OLED display is also a pleasure to use. Content looks crisp and clear and the colors pop out. I did find that the display doesn't get as bright as the iPhone 16, especially in outdoor conditions, but it was not that big of an issue. The 60Hz refresh rate is also not an issue for me, and I also know for a fact that it doesn't bother nearly as many people as tech reviewers would want you to believe. And while it still has a notch, it is another thing which doesn't really bother me. I believe you can get used to any kind of notch and learn to look past it if you use any phone for a day or two. Yes, the notch is visible in your videos if you like to zoom in on your content. This has been an issue with all of the iPhones with a notch ever since the iPhone 10, and it is still an issue on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro even with the dynamic island. While the placement of the action button makes it a bit difficult for me to reach it without having to extend my thumb too far away, but I have been forcing myself to use it more often. After all, it's a customizable button and I don't want it to go to waste. So I have set it to open the camera app. And as I said before, I have changed the grip on my phone a bit, and hopefully in the next few days, reaching it won't be as inconvenient. I believe the action button on this phone is way more useful than the camera control button on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, which I have even disabled because it got in my way too often. The camera on this phone is another major highlight. The 48 megapixel sensor captures some really sharp and detailed photos, and it is definitely a huge step up over the 12 megapixel camera on the iPhone 14 and those on the previous iPhone SEs. You can take 2x zoomed in shots, which makes it a bit more versatile, but I must say it is definitely not on the same level as the main camera on the iPhone 16. This camera has a much smaller sensor, so the images are definitely not as detailed as the ones from the iPhone 16. That being said, you won't notice any of this straight away. Here are some image samples which I took with the main camera. The details are there in very well lit conditions. Colors are natural and the dynamic range is excellent thanks to the Smart HDR5, but the images have a bit of a different look and feel about them. For some reason, I feel they look a bit more processed to me. And the lack of ultra-wide camera and the telephoto lens definitely made me miss out on some shots. But I guess someone who is coming from the previous generation iPhone SE or the XR won't be missing them. There are picture profiles, but they are not as versatile as the ones on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro. If you hold it steady enough, it also does a fairly good job in lower lighting conditions. So for an entry-level iPhone, this camera is definitely doing a fair job. If you want to check out a lot more image and video samples from this iPhone 16e and see its camera comparison video with the iPhone 14, 16 and even the iPhone 11, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have the notifications turned on, as those videos are coming out very soon. Battery life has been solid so far. As I said at the start, I have been testing this phone out in real life conditions and I am getting through a full day with cellular signal most of the time, using a lot of maps and camera, making a lot of calls and checking emails and social media throughout the day, and I still have a healthy amount of battery left at the end of the day. So Apple wasn't joking when they said that this iPhone 16e has the best battery backup out of any 6.1-inch iPhones. Of course, I have still just had this phone for 4 days and I will need more time to do extensive testing, but the initial impressions have been really positive. For charging, I was able to juice it up fully in about an hour and a half, with it going from 3 to 50% in just under half an hour with a 20-watt iPad charger. There's a new Apple C1 modem inside this phone, and honestly, I don't really know what to say about it. Wherever I went, I had a very good cellular network with this phone. It holds onto the Wi-Fi signal just as good as my older phones, and honestly, there is no noticeable difference while using this phone and any of the other phones, which I feel is a good thing for Apple's new C1 modem. I don't think there is anything more to talk about it at the moment. Overall, after the initial few days of testing it, iPhone 16e is shaping out to be a really compelling entry-level iPhone. It offers great performance, a good camera, and great internals, all at a more accessible price point. I still think it is priced 7 to 10,000 rupees more than what it should have. If you are looking for a reliable and capable iPhone without breaking the bank, iPhone 16e is definitely worth considering, but not right now after its prices come down a bit. I will have a more in-depth review and a full dedicated camera review of this phone coming out really soon, so stay tuned for that. If you have any more questions about this iPhone 16e or want me to make any specific videos about it, please let me know in the comments. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.